Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. This video is a quick maintenance on the Oreck orbiter. But first, I want to show my fellow carpet cleaners that have a van my size and larger equipment like this, the ECO 14 Pro Lite by Mighty. I picked up this ramp. Actually, it's a pet ramp, and it's got some little sticky buttons, I guess, on it that holds on to wherever you lay it, so it's not going to slip off, but it fits perfectly on just right on the bumper on my NV200 Nissan. You can see there, and then I can roll my Mighty floor buffer out, no problem. And I've been covering it up with a towel because there's a lot of humidity and moisture, and I've noticed that it starts to get a little wet. You can see it's not too bad right now. Not sure that that would harm anything if I should pull it off and put it in my garage at night, but it should be fine. I'll keep it covered up, and that'll keep the moisture and humidity out of it. And you can see over here, I have the Challenger Oreck pad driver, which I've now been using. This is the replacement one they sent me, which is in better shape than and built better than the first one. So far, just a little loss of paint, no big deal. The tape is holding on, the Velcro's working fine. So there you go. I'm pretty happy with that. If you guys are using the Oreck orbiter, I definitely recommend you get you a Challenger pad driver for the Oreck. And again, that's my Mighty on that side. And I might have to break these 4 screws loose. By the way, I did get a tripod, so you can see I'm using 2 hands on this one. I just broke the screws a little bit loose with a Phillips head screwdriver. And once they're broke loose, you can kind of put your screw in there and turn it clockwise and spin the screw out. I'll set those right down where I won't lose them here. And what I'm doing is, I usually do this about every 30 days on this machine. And you'll get all kinds of weird sounds and all kinds of things going on if you don't clean it out properly. But you can see even the cup inside is pretty dirty. And then the counterbalance weight is right there in the middle. And in the middle of that is the bearing. I don't know if they get this thing adjusted here, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Hang on just a moment. And the bearing's easy to take out. I don't need to change the bearing. I don't have any noises when you spin this around. There's the bearing. You can see it, but if you spin it around, I don't have any bearing sounds. If you do, it's easy to replace, and I think the bearing is about between $9 and $12 online. But they build up tons of carpet fiber, hair, and all kinds of crap. What I usually do is I'll brush it out, and then I'll get my shop vac and I'll suck everything out, and I'll go down in the corners along the motor there to get it out of the breathing ports. Today, for time's sake, I'm just going to clean it out with the small brush. And these brushes you can pick up at Walmart for a couple dollars in the cleaning section by the laundry supplies, I believe, laundry soap and whatnot. So check that out. It works good digging out all the dirt. So bear with me, and I'll catch up to you here in just a moment. Okay, so now once you get all the debris out of there, the motor can breathe good. You want to check all your Phillips head screw connections, make sure everything's tight. That's going to take a socket there. But these little side, these things here, you want to make sure they're tight. The two outside, the ones I'm doing now, hold the swing arm in place. So, and if they get loose, you'll get a vibration. You'll hear it going clack, 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 kind of making a clacking noise. So you want to get those good and tight, not too tight to where you do damage. And then that little thing next to it, that straight, flat plate, has one screw in it. You want to make sure that's lined up properly and then put in place tight. Sometimes it'll vibrate loose, and the black top plate will slide in towards the motor, and if it gets too close, you'll get sound from that as well. Especially if the screw loosens up, it'll start clacking. So once you get those in place, you're gonna have those all tight. You won't have any noises there. And then I'm gonna get the socket set out here in just a moment, and I'll tighten up all the other bolts, the front plate, and then the ones that hold the motor. Believe it or not, they loosen up, and even if they're just a tiny bit loose, the motor will get a vibration noise. So you want to make sure you tighten those up and that they're good and snug but not stripped. And then I'll show you a trick that I've been doing ever since I've been using the Oreck orbiter. Excuse me. In just a moment. You can actually pull the bearing and grease it if you want to. There's just a flat screw in there. You just have to loosen up one of the bolts to hold that balancer, hold that in place. This is my socket setter I got at O'Reilly's Auto Parts. This is the best little socket set you can carry in your vehicle. It does all of the size screwdrivers. It does all of your ratchets, and I'll show you that here in just a minute. It's real conveniently packaged as well, and I think it was at 14 bucks at the most, so not very expensive, but definitely a good kit, and it stays the same as when you first buy it. Everything stays organized. So we'll see if this one's loose, and it is. And that's what I mean, just that little half turn makes the difference in a smooth running machine versus getting a lot of noise. So you want to tighten those all up snug. I'm going to need to grab an extension here. Get that good and snug. And I'll grab the extension out of the kit. That way I don't tear my hands up. There we go. All this comes in the one kit. It's a good quality set too. I can't believe it. I mean, I own tons of tools. If you're in the carpet business, you probably own 2 or 3 of everything like me. We just collect tools. Then we find a particular brand we like and we start stocking up on everything they sell. I think Harbor Freight has me down on their mailing list, as well as Home Depot. But there you could see everything's tightened up good. I shouldn't have any more noises. And let me just pack this stuff away, and then I'll come back with you in just a minute and show you a quick little trick that I do. Here's that tool set. And again, it's power tools. You can get it at O'Reilly Auto Parts. It comes in a neat little case. I mean, everything is usable. It's crazy. There's all your different sizes for the screwdriver. It's also got all your different ratchet size socket fittings. And you could see the extension is actually the handle. So like I said, everything is neatly placed. It all stays together and locks in place with that little slide key. Love that thing. If you buy anything for yourself for Christmas and you want a nice little toolkit, either around the house or in your vehicle, that's the one I would definitely purchase. And so I'm going to clean out the cup, because you can see the cup sits right over that bearing. So if it's dirty, you can start to get stuff that goes through into the bearing, and that's how you ruin the bearings. And this piece in the center actually will, sometimes I think it if it gets too close to that rubber seal on there, you'll hear a winding noise or loud. I don't know how to explain it, but anyway, clean this out real good. That's really, really important on your Oreck orbiter. And once you get it good and clean, before you put it back on, and you want to clean the surface of the that balancer and the top part of your bearing. I'll go ahead and clean this out a little bit better. And I can't stress enough, that's, these Oreck orbiters, I use them commercially, and I haven't had to change one bearing at all, even on my blue and white machine. If you pop the cover off and you spin it and you hear the bearing grinding, then it's time to change it. Just, you don't want to be in someone's home and have that thing going and making a racket like it's falling apart or it's a piece of junk. You want all your equipment to be clean and in top operational form. And it's just a reflection on you. This is dollar store Vaseline. I think it's got a scent to it, but all you need is some petroleum jelly. There you go. This one's a cocoa butter smell. And what you do is you coat that inside cup where the bearing meets it. Let me go ahead and clean it out a little bit better with some Windex. I keep Windex at the back of the van and some rags at all time, just so I can wipe off my equipment before I bring it into someone's home, because when I go from the first job to the second job, I don't want to bring the other person's cat hair, dog hair, or carpet fibers or whatever you got, roll it into someone's home. So, and then just gently wipe this off. That way you can adhere your cup back on there. Excuse me. So, get it good and clean. And you can actually tighten down that balancer there if you needed to, but it's on there. That's why I was pulling on it to make sure it was tight. Get yourself about a fingerful, maybe two, and just coat right along that area where that bearing fits underneath it. And it kind of actually keeps the dirt out of there. Anything that blows up in there gets caught in the Vaseline, and then you don't get a whizzing noise or a humming noise on your machine because you've got that Vaseline. That Vaseline's not going to hurt anything. Even if it got hot and melted and went into the bearing, it's perfectly fine. Just petroleum jelly, no big deal. So that's the top secret for today. And then you'll see, I think the last video I had a little bit of noise when I swung to the right, and it was definitely the little black plate I showed you on the right side was loose and slid over to the left, so just kind of clanks back and forth and makes a little bit of noise when it vibrates one direction. So here you go. You want to put your cut plate back on. You want to do it, if you've changed tires before, you know you want to go diagonally. You don't want to go one after another. Otherwise, yeah, see, you want to go that way. Go top, then bottom, then side, and other side. That way, and just get it not all the way tight until you get all 4 bolts in, but that way you don't get one bolt all the way down and it tilts the plate, just like on a car putting the tire or putting the wheel back on. If you put the top lug nut in and then you go to the one immediately to the right of it, and then you're gonna end up with your wheels not on there lined up. It could be a little bit off. So you definitely want to do that. I'll get them all snug and then I'll tighten them up, and it should be just fine. All right, get that one on. There we go. So we should be complete. The only thing left to do is I'll pop the driver back on there and put it on I always keep the Velcro on a pad so it's not getting mashed down on the flooring in my van. And we'll flip it over and clean the top side. Also has, usually with the little mini shop vac, I'll suck all the stuff out from underneath around the motor, put my little edging tool on and get up in there as far as I can. Then I'll flip it over, and on the top you'll get some buildup, either hair or carpet fibers, and you want to get that out of there too, because that's how the motor draws in airflow so that it doesn't overheat. So there you go. Just kind of wipe your brush off, and you could see it just took out a bunch of crap. So there you go. And then before I bring it into someone's house, I'll spray the outside down, and careful not to spray through the top, and then just wipe it all down with a rag. Here's the brush, a couple dollars at Walmart. This was, I think, a dollar store or Walmart. So Phillips head screwdriver, a brush, some petroleum jelly, and of course some rags. You can get those blue shop rags. They're paper towels kind of at Walmart. This one came from O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Best little tool set. I even could have used the screwdriver bits in that if I wanted to. So get you a tool set and some Windex, great value, Walmart stuff, or even just a bottle of water with a little ammonia, and there you go. Cool. So happy Thanksgiving. Hope this helped somebody. If it gave somebody value, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have you as part of my carpet cleaning community. I post videos either daily or every couple days. So thank you for joining me for another episode, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.